global health space, working in biotech research. And also recently, I've been involved in working in the AI space, developing a regulatory framework on the LLM models whenever they generate health education or responses to users, how they should respond to those questions, and also evaluating the responses. So I have the clinical experience and also the user perspective, and from the regulatory aspect, training the LLM model. I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wobrest. We go with Dr. Wanderson is the first name. Is okay. Dr. Solomon Nakash, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi, good morning. This is Solomon. I'm a teacher and I'll be teaching a class starting next week about developing AI products and services, and another class in the fall for the same topic. But I'm glad to be here. I call myself a thinker, someone who tinkers with AI. So I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much to both of you. We have these complementary professionals working in the AI area. So looking forward to our conversation. We have 22 minutes, and for everybody's interest, we'll stop at 1/2 past the hour, depending on where you are on the planet. Okay, let's start with you, Dr. Wobrest. So can we start with tell us a little bit for someone in the health sciences area, myself, but who do not have much knowledge of AI, artificial intelligence. How can AI improve medical education, health training in general, particularly in low to middle resource settings?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think we all understand the relevance of AI in the current day and age. That's why we're having these discussions. So, when we narrow it down specifically to medical education and health training, medical education is mainly about the exposure one has on different cases, how those cases are being treated, and what discussions come around the differential diagnosis and something of that sort. So low income setting, one of the main issues that we have is either we don't have enough experts to teach those medical students. There are even countries in the continent that do not have medical schools. And also there's lack of exposure in terms of the new scientific discoveries, treatment modalities. So my understanding is AI would be the best model to narrow this gap and provide access to information, redistribute information, and also assist the faculties in just helping them prepare all those up-to-date scientific discoveries in such a short time, and also reach the students with those information, and also providing um, a very much targeted education support for students. Given the shortage of individuals, there may not be a chance to have one-on-one mentorship or guidance for those students. So the role of AI in education, mainly as I see it in this low resource setting, is since we don't have the regulatory aspect there, at least we can use it in terms of access to information and redistributing those informations, getting the new discoveries from the Western and applying and transferring those information to the low resource setting.
Okay, great. Access, redistribution and making things so efficient. So especially, with such a disparity between the high income countries and low income countries, I think let's hope AI would be a very helpful tool for all of us. So that's great. Thank you again. So we'll come back on the regulatory side, maybe, but if we have time. So let's move to Dr. Solomon, someone with tinkering with AI. How can AI-powered tools, various tools you might be aware of, I don't know them, but just generally tools, improve personalized learning and competency-based education? As an educator, can you share with us some wisdom, please?
Sure, sure. A thinker I am. I like to tinker with things. I'm actually in the middle of doing some plumbing work, believe it or not in the classroom. So anyway, I'll say this that somebody has said: AI is not going to take your job, but somebody with AI will. It doesn't matter what you do. your job would be replaced by someone who uses AI to do the same job. So we need people. It's not AI by itself, it's not going to replace it, but someone would. So here is the best I can describe. For those of you in design and project management, you know agile project management. Agile has two methodologies. One of them is called Scrum, which is popular, but the one that's not popular is called XP, Extreme Programming. The basic notion of XP or extreme programming is one computer, two people. You only need one computer because you want them to work together and one person actually putting in the input and the other person talking to the person, which is called pair programming. Pair programming. Two people, one computer. That's what AI is. For everything or anything that you do, your pair is AI. You talk to it, ask it some dumb question. Oh, how great, it would say. What a great question. It doesn't judge you. Your pair, your other pair. I don't understand what you're doing here. Oh, let me explain. It may hallucinate. Take a picture what you got and say, this is what I got. I wanted something on the right. I want something on the left. It would do that for you. Ask it to write a story and tell it, I don't like this part. Here is what you gave me. I don't like it. And it will do it for you. It doesn't matter what you do, health sciences. I know the audience here is health sciences or teacher as me or manufacturing, automotive, regardless of what you do, it's your peer, your assistant, your executive assistant who's with you. You just need to have a story. You tell it a story, it will turn it into a service or a product. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. I definitely have a long way to go. I need to catch up with the world for sure. We were just discussing on the board yesterday how digitization at this large international organization works and how they are implementing artificial intelligence for the day-to-day activities and how it makes efficient. So it's a learning part, as you indicated, as our assistant were looking to have some assistance. They were mentioning agent, super agent, or something like executive agent, something like that. So definitely, like you said, the personalized learning would be much more efficient and enabled with this. So, okay, great. So I'll alternate questions. So Dr. Wobrest, coming to you. So considering the power of AI, what role can AI play in addressing the workforce shortage? You touched it a bit in the first question, but there is a critical workforce shortage in the low to middle income countries, in low resource settings, particularly sub-Saharan Africa. How can we use AI to play a role in addressing that gap? Can you
Yeah,
address the way
yes.
it can?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because we're still talking about a very low number in terms of physician to patient population in the African continent. So AI is already reducing the workload for clinicians in some parts of the world by automating time-consuming administrative and documentation tasks. For example, EPIC, the well-known EHR model in the Western world, is already involving or integrating AI into the clinical workflow by summarizing the patient data and handling routine administrative work so that the physician would have a longer time to spend with their patient, asking critical question and also actively listening. And there's also another tool that's widely used at Harvard and Yale that's called abridge, that uses listening model during the patient visits, and those that AI would actually translate what the patient has already said and generate clinical note for the physician, so that the physician would easily take notes from or evaluate what's been taken by what note has been taken by that AI model, so that the clinician would focus only on the patient interaction. So the Western world is already integrating the AI system to streamline the clinician workflow, and there are some startups in the African space that are also trying to use AI in the diagnostic modalities and integrate in the physician workflow. Particularly, I closely studied a company called the Pathology Network in Kenya. So what that company is trying to solve is the shortage of pathologists in the country. Most of the pathologists are either in diaspora or in the urban parts of Kenya. So what this model does is they have labs in the most remote parts of Kenya. They digitize tissue samples and feed it to the already trained predictive model AI, and that AI at least can diagnose or pick abnormal findings early on, and those abnormal findings can be sent to the physicians in the urban part or in the diaspora for confirmation of diagnosis. So that significantly reduced the delay in diagnosis, delay in initiating treatments. So initiatives like that, and also some startup in Rwanda is trying to triage to digitize triage system integrating with AI. Anyone at the front line can enter the patient information of vital sign, and that AI model can sort of predict the case and would triage it and would guide the first line providers on the next steps. So these are the some of the examples that we're seeing in the Western worlds, or also in the private sector initiatives in Africa to integrate AI in the clinical workflow, that's been said earlier as well, to fit into the workflow of the physician, streamline their cumbersome work process, and make sure that the diagnosis is accurate, timely, and treatment would also be initiated timely. So I think the role case, the use case is already there. What's lacking, in my opinion, is now integrating those private efforts with the government and making sure that the regulatory aspect and in terms of the ethical gap should be filled, because the efforts are already there, and fragmented use cases we're seeing from both the Western and the African world.
Fantastic. Great. Lots of wonderful applications. Yeah, with Epic and electronic health records in the US side, I've noticed some of the AI applications. And for sure, at the US National Academy of Medicine annual meeting this past October in Washington, D.C., we're discussing a lot in terms of the clinical applications. It's very quickly, rapidly coming into the ground, and great to hear. Thank you so much for your wonderful example in Kenya with the pathology network, for example. So that's great. Okay, thank you, Dr. Wubrest. Dr. Solomon, so you touched on the learning part earlier as a learners for all of us. But when you, as you and I, and you are at the Kennesaw State University, as I saw your bio, I'm at Ohio State University as faculty members, or Dr. Wubrest, I think you're in the university setting as well. So as a faculty from in what ways can AI support us? Faculty development, when you look at teaching load, others, I do research, I do teaching, I do administration, all of us are overburdened. So how can AI tools be used for faculty development and making our life more efficient? Whether it doesn't matter which country we're based on as faculty members, or academic staff is what we call in Ethiopia.
So the one I was giving training a week ago for faculty, and it was about creating a tutor for your class. I have students that ask me question, what is this? It's already in the syllabus. It's already in my file. Why do I have to babysit that? They can ask anytime at any point. So I tell the agent, the AI agent, do not look outside of my syllabus. Here are the 3 files I want you to look at. Any question students ask about this, reply after reading, understanding, reply to them. If they have anything outside of this, say, I don't know, and give them my email. That's, as a teacher, I can use that as a tutor. And like I said earlier, regardless of what your job is, all it needs is a story. Tell a story about your job. Here is what I'm doing. And it will be able to replicate for you, will be able to assist for you. So if we write a story and give it, for example, if that's one just responding, but actually building. In the class I'm teaching, I'm actually starting a class next week in Ethiopia. So I have PhD students, and I insist that they actually have an AI, licensed AI. They say they can't pay there, they can't do that. So I'm buying the license for them. So it's $20